long time since I've done that where I wasn't paying attention and we missed the end of the show. Not even just like going into commercial, but like straight up, this is the end of the show, and we missed it. So we've been talking about revision today. Thanks, patrons, for being part of our world. I think the revision topic came up for me right now because I am working to revision. Well, creating for NaNoWriMo, but then also giving a lot of thought to like why bother doing NaNoWriMo if I'm not going to actually revise any of these nanos after I come back to them. But then also because I'm working on the revision for Before Pittsburgh, and this just requires a lot of time and a lot of concentration. So even more so than when I'm writing, where I want an hour or two to be able to create, when I'm revising, I need 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. I need to be able to just sit and do the work instead of coming back to it like 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes at a time. I need to be able to just focus on it with revision. Do you find that it
Yes.
requires more of a commitment?
No, not as much. Probably because I break it down into bite-sized chunks.
Because you're doing the one chapter at a time.
Right, one chapter at a time, and find it much easier.
Yeah.
Maybe it goes a little bit slower, but it's easier.
I don't know. I don't want to stop. That might be part of it too, is like once I do get into revising, I just want to keep reading. I just want to keep being part of that world and making those changes, those little changes. So it feels harder and I need that time to put it aside, but I'm not unhappy with that. It's not odious.
Well, it's just, again, you want to go on, you want to create.
Build new stuff.
Well, I've always had problems, and a lot of people have problems. I mean, how many times have you had a student in your classroom turn in a terrible paper only because they didn't bother revising it?
Oh, yeah.
I always had a problem with that. But, I mean, that's just a natural reaction. It's just something you got to break down and get through.
Or they'll write it 20 minutes before it's due, and so they don't have time to revise it.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah, or the night before or something like that, which I'm sure I did the same thing in undergrad. I can't tell my students often enough like how much they need to do their work early. Do it early. Give yourself time. Give yourself time to come back and...
They're 21 years old. They know everything.
Yeah. Well, so here's what I will tell our patrons, because you're not 21 years old, and while you might know a lot, you probably don't know everything. In fact, you probably know enough to know that you don't know everything. And I would say distance on your work is just invaluable. The amount of time between you and the emotional experience you had when you wrote that is going to give you a much better eye for revision. And if you're revising right away, for whatever reason, either because you're on a deadline or because you're still just that passionate about the work, the revision is probably not going to be as thorough, because you're still going to be looking at what you meant to say, not what you actually said. So just walk away. Give yourself some space. Give yourself some time. That's some good advice, actually, because I finished Before Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago and I started revising right away.
Right.
So I'm going to give it to my beta readers and then come back to it, hopefully take a month off and come back to it and finish it up. Thanks for being with us. Thanks for being patrons. Don't forget, Write on SC every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. We appreciate you. Have a great rest of your weekend.